congressional delegation which has arrived in Dharamshala. Now, after they arrived in Dharamshala in India to meet with the Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama, Beijing issued a stern warning, vowing resolute measures if Washington fails to honor its commitment to recognize Tibet as a part of China. So these are the latest inputs. These are the latest inputs that we are tracking at this point of time, where China has let out a stern warning to United States. Now, Abhishek continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Abhishek, help us understand the potential impacts that could lead or have on the broader US-China relations with this situation.
Well, we have seen US and China, they have been at loggerheads for years over the recent fact the Taiwan Strait crisis is something that China always wants Taiwan to become an integral part of China, and US has been supporting the democratically elected government in Taiwan. Though US accepts the one China policy, but still the democratically elected government in Taiwan is getting a lot of support, both support in terms of political and diplomatic support and assurances of military cooperation and support also in case China ever tries to do this invasion on the Taiwan Strait. Then in South China Sea, that also we have seen a lot of conflict happening between USA and China. Tibet is also one of the issues where USA has been trying to corner diplomatically the Chinese side and its claim over the territory of Tibet. We know that since the 50s, Tibet has been under the influence and sovereignty of China, and Dalai Lama had to flee from Tibet. And since then, since 1954 or so, he has been taking shelter in Dharamshala, when he is leading government in exile for Tibet. All the officials who are selected democratically by the refugees who live in Dharamshala and other parts of India, and they are running this government in exile. And this is not a good time, but they do have and some coming from it, especially.
Well, we seem to have lost that connection with Abhishek, but for a better reference for the viewers, after a US congressional delegation arrived in Dharamshala, India today to meet with the Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama, Beijing has issued a stern warning, vowing to resolute measures if Washington fails to honor its commitment to recognize Tibet as a part of China. So this is a crucial update that we are tracking at this point of time on a US congressional delegation that has arrived in Dharamshala to meet the Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama. Now, this has been a bone of contention between Beijing and United States from long time. Now, joining us on the broadcast is Anil Trigunayat, Ambassador. A very good morning, Mr. Anil. Thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 18. Well, you've been seeing what are the main objectives so far of the overall bipartisan delegation visit to Dharamshala and their meeting with Dalai Lama?
Well, as you know, that you have to see it in a larger context.
Right.
The larger context is the Sino-US competition across all the domains, be it in Taiwan, be it in Tibet. So the United States, while talking to China, while continuing to confer with China, trying to continue with this competition with cooperation policy, also continues to flag the issues that they think are going to give them a certain strategic leverage.
Right.
And I would consider them, they have been receiving Dalai Lama, they have been following and supporting the Tibet autonomous government and the cause of Tibet as well. But at the same time, so far, we have seen that whether it is Taiwan or Tibet, the United States has not openly supported the secession. Rather than they have simply been saying that China should not forcibly take over. I mean, that is something status quo they've been wanting to pursue. But here it is going a bit of a step further. Nancy Pelosi is the common factor between Taiwan and Tibet. She was the one when she went there as the leader of the Congress, and now she's come here along with the delegation to meet Tibet. So which gives them a moral support, I would say, to the Tibetans and to Dalai Lama. And that is why the Chinese are reacting the way they are, which is their standard reaction. For them, the problem is when they indulge in hegemonic practices, at that time nobody should criticize them. When someone else tries to pay them in the same coin, then they become far more sensitive.
Right. Mr. Trigunayat, there has been a long-standing history and a background of US supporting for the Tibetan government in exile and the Dalai Lama. But how is this potentially going to impact the current situation on the larger, broader US-China relations?
Well, it will have another irritant in the Chinese and U.S. relation. There is no doubt about it. I mean, the Chinese continue to, but they all know this. This is a game that they play with each other. And so, on the ground situation, as far as the cause of Tibet is concerned, I don't see that there is going to be any earth-shaking difference by this visit, except they're trying to keep their moral high, that they still have a hope. But then at the same time, I don't see that this is going to have a very major change, because both the powers at the moment are trying to accommodate one another. That's how I look at it. But at the same time, keep on, wherever they need an angle or there is a window, they would like to, just create an irritant. So this is just simply can be seen as irritant. I don't see this as a continuing policy of the U.S. government. As far as support to Taiwan or meeting Tibetan leaders are concerned.
Right, Mr. Trigunayat, thank you so much for joining us on CNN News 18 and giving us a better perspective of the entire situation, especially pertinent to China's warnings. But now we are cutting across to another breaking